Hello everyone and welcome to another Timeless Videos. So Modern Horizon 3 is in the horizon, and today not only are we going to talk about the Merfolk deck that we're going to be playing today, and I'm also going to be touching up on the Modern Horizon 3 Merfolk deck as well. So last time I tried Merfolk with Oko Thief of Crowns, I thought it was pretty good. Merfolks do tend to kind of run out of gas, and I was playing Civilian in this slot before, but because of the abundance of black decks, and there's a lot of Orcish Bowmaster in the format, last time I played Civilian, I wasn't enjoying it. I was not enjoying my time with Civilian, so I decided to play Oko Thief of Crowns instead, because not only does this card kind of neuter reanimate targets, which is quite important for a creature deck like ours. Like Atroxa does come down. It's quite tricky to get around it, even with some copies of Merfolk Tricksters. The Oko Thief of Crowns, it does kind of act as a grind card, but also kind of a removal spell at the same time. And last time I played with Tunnel Guide, it was actually really good. I said that this Merfolk card is probably the best 2-drop in Merfolk at the moment in Timeless. And I still stand by that because this card does everything. It buffs up your creatures, it finds you lands, and it also puts some cards in the graveyard that you might not want. And that's actually pretty important now because if you haven't realized, we actually got another Merfolk recently that I'm not sure if a lot of you actually know about the fact that this card is a Merfolk card, and that is Jet Collector. So it's been a few weeks since Jet Collector came out, and this card is quite amazing. If you guys played with the Jet Collector before, you would know that this card is quite amazing. The turn you play it, because it doesn't have any enter the battle effect trigger, even if opponent has a removal spell, you can reanimate something back from the graveyard onto the battlefield immediately. So it's always going to be a 2-for-1, but it does an additional thing that's actually quite beneficial for the future Merfolk deck. So in Modern Horizon 3, what are we getting? We're getting Harbinger of the Seas. As you can see, this is a 3-mana card that turns non-basic lands into an island. So if you look at Jet Collector here, it does require you a black source to reanimate, which makes sense, reanimating costs black mana. So we are splashing a copy of a Watery Grave. But what happens if a Harbinger of the Sea comes down? It turns all the dual lands into an island. So what's cool about Jet Collector is if 4 or more cards are in the graveyard, it gives you Mox Jet. It doesn't even require you to play a Watery Grave. So even if Harbinger does come down onto the battlefield, Jet Collector can get around that because it gives you a Mox Jet to reanimate from the graveyard. But of course, this is a green card, so you're probably going to want to splash just a tiny bit of green source. And since Harbinger of the Seas is going to be added into this deck, you probably don't want 3 copies of Island since everything is going to be an island anyways. And instead of a 3rd copy of an island, you probably want a copy of a forest. And another card that is coming to Merfolk post Modern Horizon 3 are Subtlety and Dismember. The Merfolk decks traditionally has a pretty bad time getting rid of cards, so having a Subtlety is going to be really, really good, especially against reanimate decks. But we're also getting Dismember as well, which you could play in the sideboard. Could even play in the main, to be fair. But it is a card that is really good against things like Sheoldred, for instance. So if you see some pretty tough creatures to remove, such as Sheoldred, that is something that now the Merfolk does have the option to get rid of something like that in the future. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Timeless Best of 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. Okay, let's try this out. I feel like that's way too many lands. Interesting. I think I am going to just keep the Cavern because I don't know what they're playing, right? Once Upon a Time, okay. Is this a Field of the Dead? We have a Tishana for their first Titan. Merfolk. I think the plan is with Tishana, the Titan. And then we Oko the Titan. That was kind of what I was afraid of, actually. I think I'm just going to run this out and just deal 3 damage. Spelunking. Okay, fantastic. We drew a land. That's actually really good. So hoping we win next turn. We're gonna Tishana and then Merfolk Trickster. Well, if they don't have any... Okay, another Spelunking. Draw a card, and then you may put a land down. This doesn't say you can play additional land per turn, right? So we just Tishana this. And we win. Okay, so Mist Caller actually just the nuts in this matchup, isn't it? Digger's Cage does stop natural order, but that's kind of about it. Spreading Seas, like a copy of a Spreading Seas can turn their cards into an island, and we can attack through their zombies, which is kind of cool. Jet Collector in this matchup is terrible, right? Because they don't play any removal spells. I wish we had an Ashiok in the sideboard. I didn't expect to meet a Titan deck. Miscolor, what a card. So what do we get rid of with the Shoreline Scout? I guess a breeding pool. Works out. Now this is a hand that can stop Titan for like 2 turns. Because I can Tidebinder into Merfolk Trickster. If they go natural order, if their hand is like natural orders, bunch of natural orders, are actually doing pretty good. They also bottom the blast zone. Ooh, castle. That's not good. I'm kind of hoping this is darn. I'm hoping this is a natural order because otherwise we're just a turn too late. Please. Please. Please be a natural order. Please. I beg you. Just give me 1 turn. Just give me 1 turn. I'll love you forever. Okay. Into a land. Otawara is a good card. Unfortunately, I can't attack here. Because if they block, I have to force myself to play the Hexcatcher. But I need to keep up a Tidebinder. I think that they have a natural order in their hand. I think that must be it. It's taking way too long for an opponent to actually play out their cards. They're very annoyed with the miscolor. Tidebinder? Or... Okay, another scout. That's pretty good, actually. Just gonna attack with the Mistcaller, just in case. There's a natural order. I wonder, do I win if I play out the Trickster here? Trickster, tap this. They have one blocker. Never mind. Tap this. They have 2 blocker. Play the Mistbinder. Attack with all. I don't know. This might be a throw, honestly, but we'll see. Land was a good draw. Land was actually a really good draw. So we'll see. It seems like they drew another natural order if they just ran out the natural order here. Opponent goes to 7. If I sacrifice Shoreline Scout, they block 1. They take... They're dead, right? Yeah, they're dead. GG. Wow. I thought because we didn't have Ashok, it was going to be a little bit tough, but not the case, actually. This is why Shoreline Scout is so good. Look at this. Look at the power of this card. Actually, just so good. Making an unkeepable hand into a keepable hand. Look at that. Also, where's my tunnel guide? Yeah, where's my tunnel guide? Spike Field Hazard. Whoa. Oh, speaking of tunnel guide, the nuts. Okay, my opponent is relentless into casting these bars here. Master Pearl Trident or the Mistbinder. Okay, let's crack this now. I mean, they just used 2 removal spells. What are the chances they have another one? I'm just gonna play the Pearl Trident. Pearl Trident. Nice. It's really good if this is actually like a Grixis oh, Questing Druid. Delver. Spell Pierce? Okay. Actually, the nuts. Let's actually put it here. Flash in now, just to deal more damage. Oh man. So I'm playing against Delver, Teamer Delver, it seems like, because they play Questing Druid, right? Well, Cavern of Souls, insane. So let's play. This is where like Veil of Summer. Nah, Veil of Summer sucks compared to Spell Pierce in this matchup. To be fair, they play a lot of lightning bolts and stuff. What about Surgical? Disrupts Dragon Rage Chandler. Gets rid of their lightning bolt. Seems decent. Brazen Bee could be actually really good as well. I think I'm actually gonna go down on Oko. Maybe even all of it. Hard to protect it against like bunch of flyers, right? I think in this matchup you go down on like a Tishana. Yeah, Tishana seems kind of awful. Let's try this. Cavern of Souls and Jet Collector. Bunch of Tunnel Guys is actually really nice as well. We got some excellent cards. Oh, wow. I guess I should have just played Cavern of Souls. I didn't expect the Stern Scolding, but there it is. I mean, it's good for me because I have Jet Collector. Like, yes, it's not even that bad, honestly. This is why this card's so broken. So broken. 3 cards in the yard, so I can just play out this card and get something back if they tap out. Stomping Ground. What is this? Hooting Mandrill. Okay, kind of sick. I actually really like that. Okay, well, they have another, seems like they have another removal spells, perhaps, so I'm gonna go ahead and play Tunnel Guide. This could also be just another Stern Scolding as well. So good. This card is so good. Actually nuts. Let's see if they have another removal spell. Or I could even just Otawara this, honestly. If I want to stop the bleeding a little bit. What to do? The only card that I get back is a Shoreline Scout. I guess it's not that bad. Because it's going to get a lot of value here. Yep. Cannot counter anything. Which is great. Which is excellent. Another scout. No, thank you. I'll take that. Thank you very much. Looks like they don't have a removal spell. Because if they did, they would have used it. Insane. Insane. Just... Oh my god. Tunnel Guide. And the Jet Collector. Just putting in so much work. Okay, Giganta deck. Got another Giganta deck. This probably is like, I don't know, a Jund. I guess it's a Jund deck? Yeah, it looks like it. Jund is probably our worst matchup. I would have said that if we didn't have a Tunnel Guide and Jet Collector, though. A lot has changed. A lot has changed. Into an underground mortuary. Ooh, Blood Moon. That could be actually pretty problematic currently because we actually can't play the game currently. Interestingly enough. We gotta find another island. We gotta find another island. Or I could just bounce the Blood Moon, to be fair. With the Otawara. I guess that's something we could do. It's a dangerous block. What if I have a flash creature here? They would have lost the creature for free? Jet Collector. Doesn't really do anything. We actually need a land. So there is that land. Nice. That's actually huge. Just block this one. Another shaman. Do that. So we can properly play the game. Four cars in the yard. Let's see what we should do. We could just go Mistbinder. Jet Collector is currently useless because they have a Deathrise Shaman. I think we should probably just play out like a copy of a Tunnel Guide. Sidebinder? Or he didn't play a land this turn. Oh, they had a Lightning Bolt. I didn't expect that because they haven't played a single card yet. I mean, I could play Jet Collector now. Deathrise Shaman, though, so it's not really gonna get any value, to be fair. Get rid of a Jet Collector. Maybe I shouldn't have actually topped that, to be fair. There's that Blood Moon again. Why didn't they attack? Yeah, why didn't they attack? That was a free attack turn. Okay. We pass. Another shaman. They got a lot of shamans. We keep drawing lands. Ooh, that is insane. What a card.
Break evil's bones. Unless it's bones. Then, we smush
What a card. Oh, come on. We have so many... we have so many blue cards and I draw... Come on. Come on now. Oh my god. Please let me draw blue cards. Okay, it looks like we do need a forest for these kind of matchups. Right? That's so unfortunate. Yeah, we're just dead. Yikes. So, spreading seas in. We want a Brazen Bee. We want some Surgical Extract. And we want Pithing Needle. What does it say? You may cast spell with mana value equal to from your graveyard. What does the Grafdigger's Cage say? Players can't cast spells from graveyard. It's so narrow though. It's just one card, you know? And do we really need Pithing Needle when we have Tishana? I guess it does also shut down Deathrise Shaman. Oko. I'll cut a copy of the Oko. Jet Collector should be good. Yeah, I think we need a forest in this deck. I think I'm gonna cut some Mistbinders. Something like this. Okay, so let's not make that mistake again. And let's fetch another blue source. This Polluted Delta. Hey, look, all the blue spells showed up now that the game reset. Interestingly enough. There's a shaman. I think I just want to attack. I actually want them to cast Blood Moon here. Ooh, Thoughtseize was actually really good. They did take 2 damage though, right? It is a 2 damage that they just took. In this aggro matchup. So let's see what they do. Perilous Iteration. I can't stop that. Taking more damage. Okay, let's see what they do. Is it a Tarmogoyf? Okay. I might just want to play out the Trickster here. Double Hexcatcher, is that lethal? It's pretty close. Darn. So close. Are you kidding me? 1 damage? Where did it go wrong? Lelia, okay. Darn, this is kind of tough. Yeah, well, let me decide what to do here. If they have a Fatal Push... They kept all 4 copies of Blood Moon. Ming Skembu. Armagoyf, Abrupt Decay. 4 copies of Lightning Bolt. So if we can, like, Surgical... They're actually not dead. Oh my god. I need a little bit more push. I need a bit more push here. Okay, we don't care about that. Oh no, not like this. Not like this. Can we get like a Brazen Borrower, Tashana, like anything, like a Merfolk Trickster? Even a Master Pearl Trident is actually like very, very helpful here. Okay, I think that this does it. They have the chump block. They're at 6. Okay. Nice. Nice. We go to game 3. Man. My opponent is keeping the Blood Moon because it worked out so well last game. I mean, maybe I should have some Spell Pierce. Maybe get rid of a Pithing Needle. Okay, let's try something like this. Okay. Looks okay. So we go C-Note Scout. Into the Tunnel Guide. We also have a counter for their Blood Moon. How much do we want this? A Jet Collector? Might not be bad, honestly. I'll take that. I think next turn we go Vidalian Hexcatcher. It definitely seems like they have a removal, right? Okay. They have another land. If they go Blood Moon again, we might just die. At least they don't have a Blood Moon. We got another land, so that's good. Okay. It might actually just be Brazen B on the Lalia. There it is again. We really want to land here. Didn't get a land. 3 cards in the yard. Think we still pass here. We might have to flash in the Hexcatcher to trade for the Lalia. Sure. See what they get. The thing is, if they have a lightning bolt, we are in trouble, right? What to do? Well, I think we might just take this. Seems like they have something. Maybe just a bunch of lands, hopefully. If we draw another blue source, I think that's game. Yep. I think that's game. So I think this dynamic is going to change quite a lot in the next set, right? With Modern Horizon 3. Because even in this scenario, we can play out our 3-mana card. Okay, GG's. That was a great game. I think if the Harbinger, so in this scenario, we Harbinger, and everything becomes an island, which lets us play out more of our cards. And I think this matchup might actually be closer. Okay, so we climbed to Diamond today, and yeah, the deck felt really strong, but I will say that against a Blood Moon deck, we might want a copy of a Forest going forward. Now, I think we still want to splash green even after Modern Horizon 3, just because the Merfolk Tunnel Guide and Jet Collector is just so strong in this deck. We saw a little bit of a Jet Collector in action. Because of Jet Collector, my second opponent actually surrendered. The card is just absolutely nuts, especially if you're playing against a lot of counterspell heavy deck. That means they have less removal spells. They are more reliant on counter spells. Some of your merfolks are going to get countered. Eventually, you're going to draw into Cavern of Souls. Then you get the Jet Collector down and they run out of removal spells. Then you can immediately get back something else. The Jet Collector takes priority using the ability as soon as it comes down. So even if they do have a removal spell, you're always going to get a 2-for-1 value out of this. That's why the Jet Collector is just so powerful. That's also another reason why we play Watery Grave, because we can't always rely on this card giving us a Mox Jet. And the third game, you know, what can you do? We got Blood Moon 3 times in a row, and I actually didn't expect a Blood Moon get matched up against a Blood Moon, to be fair. Blood Moon Jund deck, a lot of the Jund that I've seen, to be fair, have kind of moved away from using the Blood Moon in the main deck, because there's so many games where the card is just dead. But either way, in Modern Horizon 3, you probably want a copy of a Forest, to be fair, moving forward, because we are going to get a Harbinger, right? So we want at least a Forest. So have at least a Forest, and we might just go down on maybe an Otawara, maybe a Mutavault, probably not Mutavault. I could see myself cutting a copy of Cavern of Souls, but I think it actually might be like a fetch land, to be fair, and remove this Polluted Delta, 2 copies of Verdant Catacomb, because this lets you fetch a Watery Grave, Forest, and a Breeding Pool. And we probably want like a copy of a Polluted Delta, so you still have ways of fetching Green Source with the Misty Rainforest and 2 copies of Verdant Catacomb. And Polluted Delta can get you Breeding Pools as well. Post Modern Horizon 3, this is probably the mana base I would play. And potentially even actually cutting more islands, because all the dual lands are gonna turn into an island, right? So maybe like you don't even want 3 copies of island. Maybe you just want 2 copies, just in case you get Blood Mooned, so that you can play your Harbinger out to make your lands into an island again. Just 2 copies of islands, and probably even like another copy of a Breeding Pool, perhaps. So something like that. So if you take out the Cavern of Souls, you still have 11 copies of Green Source plus Shoreline Scouts, giving you additional Tropical Island. Technically, you have 15 copies of Green Source without the Cavern of Souls in casting Oko, like green mana cards, and if you want more green mana cards in the sideboard. But with Cavern of Souls, you will have 18 copies of Green Source with this, and 18 Blue Source in a 21 land deck, and 22 copies of Blue Source with the Shoreline Scout. So I think that's pretty good. I can kind of see myself replacing Oko, but I'm still not sure yet, because Oko is a powerful card. Currently, the Oko is replacing the Civilian, just because last time I played Merfolk, I didn't have a good time versus an Orcish Bowmaster, and I don't want to experience that again. So that's why we don't have a Civilian here, and instead we have an Oko. And it's also timeless, so like I wanted to play with Oko, but I can definitely see myself playing Civilian here instead of the Oko. So without the Oko, you probably want 4 copies of Harbinger here. And I can definitely see myself going down on a copy of Jet Collector. Like 4 copies of Jet Collector might be a little bit too much. I can definitely like see myself cutting a card here and cut the Oko. Let's just call this Harbinger for now, right? So we have Harbinger of the Seas here. So a deck would look something similar to this. But there's also like another card coming out, right? We're also getting the Pitch Elementals. So in here, I would probably cut like a copy of a Merfolk Mistbinder, maybe 2 copies here, and then have a Subtlety. And I'll kind of illustrate Subtlety with this card. You know, the deck might look something close to this. So we have a Subtlety here, we have Harbinger of the Seas, and yeah, I think the deck was good, even without these changes in pre-modern, but obviously it could be better, and it's going to get better with Modern Horizon 3, and We're also getting Dismember. Remember that. So we're also getting Dismember, which could be something that you could put in the sideboard, like 2 copies of it. And we're also getting Flare of Denial. So Flare of Denial says you may sacrifice a non-token blue creature, and then you can counter that spell without paying any mana. I must say that what's really great about this card in this deck is even if we sacrifice like our one-of creatures, we can later get it back with Jet Collector. So that's actually pretty cool. So that's actually could be a reason to go up on Jet Collector, to be fair. So yeah, in the future, the deck might look something like this with 2 copies of Dismember, 2 copies of Subtlety, 2 copies of Harbinger of Seas, and we might also see some Flare of Denials as well. So pretty excited about Modern Horizon 3 coming out. So with that said, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.